And now, time for America's Talking Network with clips from across the country in various state houses, where we'll start in Georgia. Legislators there hearing more about errors in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
Just so you know, there's inadvertent household errors that are things where, again, I didn't project my income correctly, but I wasn't trying to deceive. And then there's intentional program violations, which you can get sanctions for. That can just start on you, not being eligible for benefits that you would otherwise be eligible for under an IPV sanction, up to prosecution for, egregious, I would say, or true criminal benefit theft.
But we probably could increase, the penalties for it.
With that potential of looking at increased penalties for SNAP failure to follow the law, you've also got the prospect of taxpayers in all states looking to possibly have to pick up the difference between the error rate that the federal government is saying is acceptable and a much higher error rate in some of these states. In Georgia, they've got double digit. In Illinois, they've got double digit. And if they don't bring that down, the state's taxpayers are going to have to make up for that difference in the cost that the federal taxpayers are covering. That's going to be an ongoing issue with state houses across the country when it comes to federal taxpayer funds and how they're used for these types of subsidy programs. Meanwhile, in Washington state, an amendment was brought forward for some grant accountability, and you had Democrats saying that the amendment could possibly add to the burden of auditing certain types of grant recipients. But Republican State Representative Deb Mangeras, she said that the much needed amendment is important because taxpayers are clamoring for more oversight on taxpayer funded grants.
At the federal level, if an organization, a nonprofit, receives more than $750,000 in a year, they're required to have a independent audit called a single audit. A lot of you may have known. So putting this at $10 million is way above that. We have our state auditor that is in charge of all the cities, counties, a lot of work. We need to move closer to having third-party independent auditors at a much lower level, maybe even to match the federal dollar limit of $750,000. Our constituents are screaming about this, and we need to answer them. Please vote yes on this amendment.
Despite that plea for a yes vote on that amendment did not pass in the state of Washington. Now, further down on the West Coast in California, Planned Parenthood looking to possibly get a $90 million check from California taxpayers, as you have the ongoing questions of federal funding for abortion services. And that debate continues in California. Democrat State Representative Maggie Krell, she supported the effort to give $90 million to Planned Parenthood.
This $90 million fund by SB 106 will guarantee that no more Planned Parenthood health centers close in California. What this means is the 25,000 patients who seek care at a Planned Parenthood every single week will continue to be able to get their care, whether that's pregnancy testing, whether that's STI testing and treatment, whether that's cervical cancer screenings, whether that's men seeking vasectomies, whether that's sexual assault survivors going for help, whether that's human trafficking survivors going to have someone to talk to.
But Republican State Representative Carl DeMaio, he said that this is really an issue about choice, and he questions one particular entity set to get that $90 million check from California taxpayers.
It's between you, your family, and your faith. But let's be clear. This isn't about choice or access to abortion services. The language in this bill is written in such a way that one single politically connected supporter receives $90 million with an extraordinary lack of oversight, audit, and financial responsibility. Why? Why are we doing this? Why for this specific group?
Obviously, debate continues on that issue all across the country, and that is America's Talking, with clips from statehouses across the nation. From my studios in Central Illinois, I'm Greg Bishop. Join us Wednesday for more stories impacting you, the taxpayer, from across the country, only with the Center Square Daily.